all six, standing on our hands, knees and feet. We're going to pull backwards and forward. From there we're going to put the hands in front and the forehead on the floor, and we're going to start rolling, shifting the weight towards the top of the head and back towards the tailbone. And we did it for a while in different tempos, and every time that we move forward, like right now as I'm starting, engaging the rubber bands and I'm rolling all the way to the top of the head, creating a full movement from head to tail and from tail to head. Back on all six. We turn the head and we try to look at the hip as we lift the hip up towards the shoulder. And then we did the same to the other side, turning the head and lifting the hip up towards the shoulder, trying to look at it. I have the image of a dog looking at his own tail. And as we did it back and forth, we started noticing that as the head moved and the hip went up, the knee moved and the foot moved. And there was like a small walking sensation between the knee and the foot. From here, we rested on the fist, and then we started rolling the hip down, melting it towards the side, engaging the rubber bands to come back into the center, melting the hip towards the other side and engaging the rubber bands to come back to the center. And as we did it, we noticed that as we melt to the right, the left leg moved backwards a little bit to allow the movement of the hip. And the rubber bands brought the knee back and the hip back. As we continued, once we got down towards the floor, we lifted the right knee. We held with the left hand to come up to sitting position. And then we lengthened the arm back down and we moved back towards the center and back. And rubber bands to come back to center. Side movement. The elbow will be right underneath the shoulder and we are on the side of the hip. We're going to allow the ribs to drop down towards the floor and to lift up towards the ceiling. As we drop the ribs, we exhale and the head goes up. And as the ribs goes up, we travel with the hip downwards towards our heels that are aligned with our buttocks. And the head will drop down. So it's inhaling and exhaling, and inhaling and exhaling, and inhaling and exhaling, and inhaling and exhaling. And then we did the same thing on the other side to see if you have the same movement, flexibility, where the hip can come up towards the ribs and away from the ribs and up and over and